Morning, everyone. How we doing? Let's get going on the stream today. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that YouTube video from me yesterday. And let me get it up on the Discord here. We'll do our little pre-market prep, and then we will get into what we're expecting for price today. And then I will need some help from everyone in the stream. What's going on, guys? How we doing? That was quite a few hopped in real quick. I get them up on my other laptop, actually. All right, so per usual, what we're going to be looking at is the gap fill report, which today should be pretty good because we're only gapped at 0.1%. We'll actually pulled up gold, take a little look at what gold did last night. If you guys survived that gold move last night, congratulations to you. That was tricky. I actually can't see it because it all happened during Asia session. But gold is yet again gapped up 2.3%, and that's after a 3.7% move on the previous day. So this thing is almost at 5,000 an ounce, which is insane to think of. Trump is speaking now. Thank you. I did just see Trump is speaking where was it posted? Davos. So we'll see probably some continued movement like that wick that we just got right before open. But what we should be expecting for today, so we already have our previous day's 50 drawn in. Go ahead and slap our London 50 on. We have an inside bar today, not that it's a very high potential play. We do have the downside already targeted there. So 607.01, and then we have the upside all the way up to 615. So those are ranges that we'd be taking a look at. Gap fill report, and this thing's wicking all over the place right now. Gap fill report for both SPY and Qs doesn't really show much right now. It's the lowest bracket, which has a 86 and 85% chance of filling for SPY. Same for Qs, 86.74. So we should get a fill of this gap, even though it's 50 cents, 10 cents on Qs. That doesn't really help us much today, and neither does our previous day's 50. So not really too much to look at there. And then our inside bar stat, we will more than likely just take out that low. For SPY, gap fills down at 677.40-ish. So that would also fill the gap on SPY. Same for Qs. Really not much for us to look at for data. What's going on, Semperfi? How you doing? All right, now that we have a decent amount of people in here, I need some help from you guys on an additional 20 accounts. So I want to get I'm going to say this throughout the stream today, I want to get up to 30 accounts for futures. So I have these 5 Lucid accounts already. I actually had a really nice gain on these last night into this morning. So these are already funded. Today we're going to be live trading. I figured this would be helpful as well. A lot of people ask me how I pass the evaluations. Do I go more aggressive? What do I do with those? So we're going to live trade those today. And the Apex ones, the 20 accounts are still relevant. Those accounts I'm just not going to trade live. I'm going to stack the 50 accounts, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get up to those 50, and we're going to go and get something like this. This is the one that I've seen is the most reliable. I've heard is the most reliable from you guys. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong there. Anyone in Discord or the stream. Trade Sinker or Replicanto are the ones I've heard are the best. And then I just don't really know what else to do for the remaining 20 accounts. I do know that we're probably going to go and get some take profit traders. So these ones will be probably the 50Ks is what I'm going to get on these. Actually, do they have a 25K option? If they have a 25K one, then I'll get those definitely. Awesome, they do. So I'll get the 25K ones. These ones, perfect, 3 micros, 30 contracts, 3 minis, 30 micros, 1500. So pretty much the same as what we're dealing with Apex accounts, which is beautiful. And then this one might be a little bit of a shocker, but I think another one that I might add here is day traders. Top firm. I've seen mixed reviews on this. I do know that this is the previous owner or previous CMO of Apex, and they do pretty much the same sales and everything, but they have these 25K accounts right here, which is the same exact model as Apex. The only downside is that they have a much higher activation fee. So I'll see with those. With the sale they have, it should be, I don't know the difference between the trailing and the static, but I think they let you trade up to 9. I'm not sure. But we have more than enough options to go through. My funded futures, yeah, I'll probably add. How many MFFU accounts can you have? My funded futures. Can you copy trade 5? 5 of them? Awesome. So I'll probably get. I don't know. I have to familiarize myself with all these. I'll probably end up getting the rapid on these, if anything, or the core. I don't know what the difference between these is. But what we're going to do, because I think this would be just as helpful, I have been trading quite a bit during Asia session, and we've been getting to, I did a OMO review on this for myself yesterday. Buellnox, I know that one you can have 11, but isn't getting up to 11 a little tricky? Like you have to have 3 accounts, and then those 3 have to get a payout, and then you can add another 3, and then those 3 have to get a payout, and then it continues on and on. Something like that. All right, Gatfill is getting a little more interesting. We'll cover that a couple of minutes before open. Trump is speaking right now, so we're having a pretty volatile move. 5 my funded futures accounts. Rapid is the best. Buellnox is good. Day traders is not bad. I'm live with them right now, but the live program is horrible. 25K accounts are super nice, but after 3 payouts, you go live. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying, I know you guys do like watching me copy trade the 20 accounts. And if you want that, then we can continue trading those. I probably won't trade them until Thursday or Friday this week. But I figured what would be more useful, since a lot of you may not have the funded accounts yet, is copy trading some evals. Because I do get asked a lot. I don't just take 1 MNQ on evals. Evals, I usually go up to 4, sometimes up to 5 MNQ. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass these ones live. We're going to pass the Tradeify Select. That's what I ended up buying, 5 Tradeify Select. I have 5 Lucid. I have the 20 Apex accounts. After we pass these, you guys can decide whether I pass the remaining 20 in the background. Alpha Futures, you can only have 3, though. That's the downside to them. Pass the remaining 20 in the background, or if you guys want those passed as well, and then I'll just take trades with a trade copier on the rest of them. But we have plenty of options to go through here. You guys let me know what you want. What's going on, Bob? The trades are all going to be the same. I want to specify that. The sizing is what's going to be different. So obviously 1 MNQ, 1 MES, or 2 MES on the funded accounts. And then for the evals themselves, these ones are going to be, I've got some fresh Tradeify evals loaded, same as you. So it would be good to watch you run them. All right. That's our first vote. It took me 16 trading days for that to qualify for that payout on Apex. 16 trading days. What's going on, Matthew? How you doing? Nice. You saying anything interesting? Feek said, are you not planning on getting a proper copy trader for this amount of accounts? I will get a copy trader, yeah. But I'm not going to copy trade all the evals together. I'm going to pass them in lots of 5. And then once I have all 50 accounts, I'm going to copy trade them. I can vouch for Tradeicopia. I've been using it for over a month. No problems at all so far. Right now, it's between Replicanto, Tradeicopia, and TradeSyncer. TradeSyncer is the one that I'm leaning towards. The only problems that I've seen on TradeSyncer are for those people that copy trade with Project X. So if Project X is a leader account and Project X has an outage, which happens pretty regularly, then the trade copier gets messed up. So again, we're going to pass these in lots of 5 is what we're going to aim for. And then once these are passed, I'm going to get the trade copier and go for all 50. And that means a $50 day. I think with some of the trade copiers as well, you can modify the sizing. I'm not entirely sure of that. So I will have to go through quite a few learning curves there. But the qualifying trading day for these Tradeify accounts, I don't think there is one because you can get one day payouts, which is nice. That's why I opted with the selects. I probably won't be getting the 1 day payouts, but I do think that since it's a 1 day payout, there's no qualifying trading day amount. That's why I went with these instead of the Tradeify growths. Let me go to, we're going to cover the thesis for the day, but not as Trump is speaking, because that completely, this one candle just completely changed everything that we were taking a look at there. Tradeify select. I got the Lucid Pro accounts. Lucid Pros I still think are a little bit better than the Lucid Black, with the way that I trade anyway. All right. Profit split 90-10, winning day thresholds. Okay, that's the every 5 one. So 150, that's why I didn't opt with the every 5 trading days. I don't really need the larger payouts anyway. The payout max is 3,000 per payout if you do the 5 winning days. So I ended up opting with, I'm going to end up, once we pass the accounts, I'm going to get the everyday payout. And that's because there is just a buffer system. There's no daily eligibility requirement. And that all goes hand in hand with aiming for $50 a day. So we have to, on these accounts, the payout threshold is $1,000, which obviously isn't very much for a 50K account, but that will just be us reaching a buffer of 2,100. And then we can withdraw down. It's going to be the same as trading on a 25K account. This is essentially a 25K account with them. It's just going to get withdrawn down to 51.1, and then I'll have 1,100 in drawdown. So it's going to be the same mindset as what we've been doing. Well, these ones line up best with what we're trying to do. And then the same for the Lucid accounts. These ones, the qualifying trading day, I know I'm saying that as I'm up 850. The qualifying trading day on these is $50. No qualifying trading day on the select accounts. Qualifying trading day on the Apex accounts is $50 as well. So that being said, I think you guys get the point of what we're aiming for. We want prop accounts that have a threshold of $50 for a winning day, or accounts that have single day payouts, and that way there's not a qualifying trading day. It's just a buffer that you have to get to. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes here, and then we will take a look at what that data is telling us for today. Because right now the gap fill just changed by almost 2 stats. Quite a volatile move off whatever Trump said. We're in the second one now, second bracket. Speaking of, what was our bracket for? I know I forgot to check this yesterday. So that went up to 89% for the win rate on a Tuesday. Doesn't mean that we're going to have an 89% chance next Tuesday. It just means that we are well overdue for a loss on that. It's kind of funny. Really like your videos. Can you please tell us what your go-to strategy on practicing your IB? The IB is the go-to one. What's going on, Arvin? Mark, how you doing? Good morning. So your goal is 50 accounts, 20 Apex, and 30 additional. Yeah, I need another 20 accounts over. I have the 5 on Lucid already. I bought 5 Tradeify, so these 2 are the other 10. And then I need to get another 20. How did you fund it at the start, like your 20 accounts? So what I did at the beginning of last year, at the end of last year, sorry. So November 28th, I bought 5 Lucid accounts. Is there anywhere I can go and find these? No, I'm not going to be able to. November 28th, I bought 5 Lucid accounts for $350. I went and passed those. It took me like 13 days to pass them, the 25K accounts. And then it took me 5 trading days to get a payout, or 6 trading days to get a payout on those. So I turned 350 into 5,000. Use that to go and buy 5 Tradeify accounts. Got a $7,500 payout on those 5 Tradeify. Got another payout on the Lucid accounts. So 17,500 in payouts on those, and then that money I used to fund the other accounts that I bought. So that's how I got the money to, or that's how I like to go about funding accounts, as opposed to doing it out of my own pocket. I use the market's money. Have you had any experience with Lucid instant funding? I don't think any of the instant funded accounts are worth it. I think that you're better off doing the evals, especially with so many accounts having 1 day to pass with no activation. There's no rush for you to pass it with Lucid because it's a one-time payment. But if you did want to, you wanted to fund an account, instant funded, you'd have 3 opportunities to YOLO it if you wanted to get the Lightning funded. I think the Lightning fundeds are a money grab, because if you're struggling to pass an eval or you're struggling to get a payout, you blow an account and you're like, oh, I don't want to go through the eval phase again. I'm just going to go and get the instant funded. It doesn't really make sense. What's going on, Mike? You said Lucid Pro accounts are better than Lucid Black. Can you please give more details? It's just because of the way that I trade with Lucid. The Lucid Black accounts, they benefit people who trade for higher amounts of capital or higher profits, as opposed to people that just go for $50 to $100 days. The Lucid Pros, it'll take like 20 trading days if you aim for 100 a day, 50 a day. 20 trading days if you aim for 50-day to get to your buffer and get the payout. Lucid Black it's 750, which is the way that I would trade them. But if you start increasing how much you're making on the accounts, then you get a $1,500 payout. I still have them, Leon. Just taking a little break. We're going to trade some evals because these are the ones. That's why I'm going to say it throughout the stream again today. I think I already stated that, but everyone enjoys watching the 20 Apex accounts get traded, but I think it's more beneficial to you guys trading the evals or trading these types of accounts, because not everyone may have. Everyone knows that on the Apex accounts I do one MNQ. So the same trades, you can just take one MNQ. It's going to be IB trade. It's going to be whatever it might be. IB, London 50. Same trades. Everyone knows I take one for those on the funded. So I'm going to try to show how I go about passing evaluation accounts this week or the rest of the week. Is it good to copy trade all the accounts at once? Because if we lose one, we lose all the accounts. As long as you stick with one MNQ with the way that we've been trading, I don't think you're at that big of a risk of losing all of them. My last trade, I didn't end up having one on the IB yesterday. I took a loss shorting MNQ last night. Where was it? I entered on the retracement last night, 25,135, and then it ended up just continuing up all the way to 25,2, 25,217, and then it has small reversal. How long do you plan on taking to pass the accounts? These Tradeify ones, we'll see. They are monthly recurring, so I'd like to get it done before the month's over. I bought them this morning, these Tradeify accounts this morning. All right, so we'll go into our bias now that the gap fill and everything is a little bit better. Let me go into Andre's DM me before we get into this. Let me cover. All right, so for the gap fill for today, we're in the second bracket now, hovering between the second and the third bracket, but we have a 50-50 with this gap up, which is pretty good. This is 100% of it. We've had 18 of these gaps, only 9 of them have filled, so we have a 50-50 chance of having this gap filled. We also have a pretty significant chance that we can go up to previous day's high or previous day's low. That's with the inside bar stat. So this is a 78% chance that we go up to the previous day's high or previous day's low. Previous day's low is a little bit closer, 607.08. I would anticipate with that rejection we just had at London 50, probably a little bit more downside, but it's also only a 50-50 chance that we have that gap filled. So where we are right now, it's not that significant up or down. We'll see what happens with that first 15-minute opening candle. And then if we close over London 50, I'm going to try and take a little aggressive entry at previous day's 50 and target up to that previous day's high. And that is what we're expecting for into open. And we're open. So we'll see. I'm not leaning up or down too much. I think that we do get a. Let me correct that. I'm leaning a little bit towards the downside because of that rejection off previous days 50. SPY is a little stronger than Qs right now. So we'll see what. It's dependent on London High and previous days 50. I think that one will be a little bit more significant. Okay, that's all set up. Beautiful. All right, the inside bar is in play, even though we have taken out previous day's low. Yes, because it's during regular trading hours. We have not yet taken out previous day's low. We have to take out 607.05 or we have to take out 615.11. And then for the sizing to start, I'm going to go with 4M and Q. That might be a little much. We'll see what the range of the. I'll size down to 3. We'll see what the range of that initial balance is, and then that will determine what I end up doing for the first couple of sizings. I did Leon, then we just have to see how long it takes. What do you think about order flow trading? I don't go too deep into that. Locked myself out for the first 15 minutes. There you go. Nice. All right, pretty good wick off of London 50 to start. Really want to see price get over previous day's 50, and I'll be pretty comfortable taking a long towards previous day's high. That's what I would like to see and open. That's what I'm leaning towards and open. With Lucid Black accounts, you need 12 days, 105 to reach profit target of 1260 to be eligible for a max fee of 750. Correct. Multiplied by 5 accounts. Yes, that's correct, Mike. That's why it's going dumbs. How you doing? That's why I don't really want to get the Lucid. The Lucid Black at first, they seemed really good because of the 3-day payout windows, but it doesn't really line up with how I trade anyway. So I didn't see much of a point in getting the Lucid Blacks. They also have a little bit higher of a cap on what you can do or what you require to do for the payout as opposed to the Lucid Pro. Lucid Pro, you need $2,100 to get a $1,000 payout. Lucid Black, you need $2,500 to get a $1,500 payout. Mohammed, you're looking at it right now. What we're doing, we're trading these. I'm building up to a 50 account portfolio. portfolio. I wouldn't really call it a portfolio, but I'm trading up to a 50 account prop firm portfolio to copy trade. So right now I have 25. I'm going to get another 30 accounts at the moment. We're going to pass these Tradeify accounts. These are the select plan. I'm going to go with the daily payout option because that negates what you need for a qualifying trading day. And then once those ones are passed, we're going to go and pass another 5. Once you have them passed, you only need to take one trade on them a month to keep the accounts. Same with Apex. So I'm not in a rush on those. I want to build I did kind of take a break on Lucid and Tradeify for a little bit there. I want to build the 50 accounts and then we'll go and copy trade all of them together. That's my plan. All right, pretty boring open. Our next Supreme Court vote should be on Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be the third business day. So we should get more news on the tariff vote on Friday if they actually do vote on it. You trading the eval aggressively? Yeah, that's what I think. This is going to help a lot of you guys in terms of what questions you have as to how I pass the evals. That's why I'm going to trade these for a little bit, or not for a little bit, trade them until I pass them. I will likely take trades on these after stream as well. We'll see. I won't take them if the IB ends up breaking, but if we get a good momentum tonight for Asia session on gold again, like we did last night with this absolutely insane. I mean, we had back-to-back 30-point candles just about at 8 and 9 o'clock last night, 9 to 10. This thing was on a tear and a half. It was insane. Went all the way up to 4, 8, 9 too. So we had like a 140-point move up on gold. If we get good momentum like that again. I barely missed my entry on longs. I was so sad. This was if you guys watched that video from yesterday. So my entry, we had that 6 p.m. open right here. My entry on those was a 50% retracement of that pretty strong move, and we missed it by half a point. I did end up chasing it a little bit. I only made $40 on that, but still, I am very disappointed I missed that because that would have pushed so fast, especially with that 22-point move up right at 8. That pushed so fast, I don't think I would have been able to close it too early. My EST, yeah. Yes, I am. London 50, we just got a really nice bounce off of. London 50 is the range from pre-market high to low, which it looks like how did I mess it up that bad? Never mind, we didn't get it. No, that was right. Forgot about that wick up right there. So that's what we just bounced off, London 50. Should be on SPY and Qs. Qs almost made a new IB high. What reputable prop firms do you think? What prop firms do you think are reputable to build 50 accounts with? Well, that's what I need some help with. The only ones I have is Lucid and Tradeify. I'm not going to use Top Step because they're locked to Project X. So I'm just going to stick with stuff that's on Tradeify. My funded futures I'm going to get. So that'll be 35. I'll probably get the 25Ks on Take Profit Trader too, because those are identical plans to Apex. So that brings us up to 40. Just need to find another 10. If this bounce happened after this the 945 candle, then we could have taken it. but it did not happen right on that first candle. Perdia Capital. Perdia, actually, they reached out to me not too long ago. But maybe I'll go back with them. They just have a really weird path to funded. Even though it's a live account with everyday payouts, I know that, but their path to funded is like 15 trading days. Perdia, it takes forever to get paid, yeah. It's daily once you get to the last stage row, but it's like 15. If you traded perfectly, it's like 15 trading days to get to that position. That's what Ike's doing. He was just talking to me about it. They don't have daily. For whatever accounts he's getting daily payouts on. Go look at Trader Ike on X, and his last like 3 posts are all daily payouts with Perdia. Gold's didn't do anything for that IB yesterday. I think the momentum on gold's been too strong. That's why I didn't kind of ignore the IB. It might do the same thing for today. I got your row. I currently have 4 Tradeify straight to funded and take profit trader 25K. I'm working on another Tradeify and then might try Lucid to add another 5 accounts. I will say for anyone that wants to get up to those 20 accounts, those Apex ones that was probably the most difficult 3-week stretch of trading that I've had. I started those on January 4th, those funded accounts. So it took 17. That doesn't make sense. No, I started them in December. It took 16 trading days to qualify for the payout on them. And that was extremely difficult to get to that point. So I would say if you guys want to copy trade that many accounts, go with everything should come back to Lucid. I think everything that you trade in terms of the intraday trailing drawdown is the hardest part. They actually did. You're trading Apex 50K accounts times 20. Top one I've already used, though. I will not be going back to them. They also have trailing intraday drawdown, and they have a 20% ESS, not even consistency. That's the main reason I'm not affiliated with any prop firms, because I went in with them early and they ended up not being too good. All right, so for our Edgeful stats for today, still within that inside bar. We didn't take out previous day's low quite yet. Oh man, I could have gotten another 10% off those accounts. That stinks. I didn't realize that Tradeify was doing 40% off. I got 30% off this morning. Whatever. Allegedly. Oh, KP, they did. Apex asked me as soon as I qualified for the payout. They asked me for the explanation of my trading strategy. So that is factual from Apex. Yeah, R2, D2. No, I didn't have to shoot a video. I guess it's something that you have to type when you get the accounts, and it gets rid of the process. It's in their Discord, Bob. The code is TDY for 40% off. It's a 40% off flash sale. They did it because of it's kind of funny to them. They did it because funding tick closed down. While others shut down, pull plans, and move the goalpost, Tradeify stays locked in trust and stability. We're giving you 40% off our flagship plans using the code TDY. And then you can get the select accounts for 95, which kind of stinks because I paid 117 for them this morning. Oh well. All right, we got a new IB high formed on SPY. We just need cues to follow through here. The Ignite accounts have 20% consistency though, don't they? And trailing intraday drawdown. I'm not interested in using them again. All right, almost making a new high here. There we go, new high made. So our IB is bullish. IB stat for Wednesday is going to be, this week's all jumbled up because of Monday being closed. If we can get over previous day's 50, I'm going to take a long, even if it's before the IB stat. Yeah, no problem, Bob. I did apply for the Lucid and Tradeify affiliate codes. I'm not going to shill them per se. But if you guys did want to support me in another way, then you're going to be buying the accounts anyway. I'm not going to put it in front of everyone's face and say, oh, Lucid Black, use my affiliate code. But my affiliate codes for everything will probably just be Zinc. So if you guys did want to use that once I have it up and running anyway. How much does Trump yapping live affect you entering any of your trades? Usually just don't trade when he's talking. I don't think I got approved for the Tradeify one yet. Let's see. Processing my application. I don't have a code. This is the 40% off one. It's TDY. And that is valid until tonight at 11:59 p.m. EST. There we go. I'm going to be leaning towards an upside break all the way to previous day's high. We have 10 minutes. I will target an entry if we can get over previous day's 50. I'll take an entry there. If not, then we'll just wait for the IB entry. But we should be decently bullish for the next little bit. I don't think that we're going to head all the way back down towards previous day's low. We definitely could. Gap fill. Looks like we did fill the gap. So that was a 50-50 stat that was fulfilled. Should say less than 50-50 now. Oh, no, actually, we only filled 53% of it. Really? I wonder what gap that's talking about then. I thought we just filled the whole thing. Okay. Frenchie's bullish with a close over 25,243. That is just barely above previous day's 50. So pretty close. SPY closed over previous day's 50. Sorry, not closed over yet. There's 8 minutes left. Elite trader funding? No. I think that's the one that Roland's been having a lot of struggles with. Overlap, we're in hopefully in 3 minutes. What's going on, Freedom Trader? How you doing? Happy to have you in the live. This is looking very good for Qs, and the implied break is going to be $4 up, which should be honestly should be 150 points. Where will the stop loss be? Stop loss is going to be I'm actually going to go down just to 2 MNQ on these because of how wide the range is. So if it's 130 points, that's $520 on 2 MNQ. Stop loss, I'll put at 150. So 35 points underneath that previous day's 50. That's if we get a closure over this. We have 6 minutes left. Yeah, I have to wait. No bias zone. How did you get the name Zinc? Funny enough, it's my not sure how many of you know the game RuneScape. It's my RuneScape name. Yeah, we want this to close as close as possible to previous day's 50. Oops, these are the Lucid accounts. So stop loss is going to be, the trade should look something like this once we get in here. And then we also have the IB to overlap it. So it's going to look a little, let me actually draw it on MNQ. Our London 50 looks like it's It's at the high of our previous day's 50. It's at the high of that candle. So I'll just put a horizontal line in there real quick. So our entry is going to be as close as that, or as close to that level as possible. And then we are going to be, does it have a long position in here? Trend, I guess not. Chart settings, candlesticks. All right, anyway, our stop loss is going to be 35 points below entry, which would be at 25,257. So 25,222 where our stop will be. I can only trade it with top one futures, top step, and Tradeify because I'm from South Africa. I have not purchased any challenges yet. Tradeify, I would say, is probably the best one out of those, or most reliable anyway. So our stop is going to be the top, the wick of this candle. We want to retest after this closes. We want it to come back down, and then we're going to go long off previous day's 50. And we have a pretty tight stop on it. Could also add into the winning position, but this is what the risk reward is going to be looking like if we can get an entry. Well, what a candle needs to come down, left click the chart, click buy 10, limit at the money. Doing good, Freedom. Left click the chart. You're finished for the day. There you go, 5 points. Oh yeah, I know how to do that, KP. I was wondering if Tradeify had a long position like this. You know how you can put it in on Trading View and it shows you what your risk and reward's going to be. That's what I wanted. Obviously, I know how to open a long position. You goober. I'm not from South Africa. Or are you trading on QQQ but trade on MNQ? MNQ has slippage. Can this thing chill? Jeez. We didn't even get a 3-minute retest. What the heck? 1 minute retest, maybe? Didn't even get a 1 minute retest. Come on now. This should go to previous day's high pretty easy. 1-to-1 risk reward. Only reason I have it tighter is because it's not the IB trade. If it was the IB trade, I'd have the stop loss at the bottom like that. But I'm fine with doing 35 points. Usually when it breaks like this, it doesn't retrace back down. Stoic Capital, trade water futures. Huh? So many South African traders. Did James put you on to Edgefield data? Actually, no. Leo did. I then got my up to 670 myself. I must have had an open sell contract somehow for silver, and it put me into a loss after I was up 500, and then get myself up to 650. I did the same thing last night. That's the only reason that I'm actually up 850 on these Lucid accounts. I made. Shoot, I don't remember what it was. Thank God these don't have trailing drawdown on them because it's not that bad. I think I was in longs. I don't know how long I held them for. need to remember to press this before I close my browser. Just so you know, 5 points, that only closes it for the account that you're on. I found that out the hard way. That exit all positions and cancel all, that only does it for the one account that you're on right there. That does not do it for all of them. So you're better off just going and spamming the exit at market and cancel with whatever group account you're in. So and this goes for everyone that is on Tradeify as well. If you're copy trading and you do exit all positions and cancel all, this only does it for this one account. It does not do it for all 5 or 20, whatever you're copy trading. Came back to my Tradeify and I was down 375. How many contracts do you trade MDC? Usually maxed at 1. I traded 2 last night on accident, and I had a 10-point stop on it. Made it a little rough. Whole market's green now, at least. Buying a pullback, please. Anyone want to sell me a pullback? Pullback to previous day's 50, maybe? What's Hims doing? Don't do that to me, bull nuts. How's it down 4%? Everything else is green but that. If this pumps like gold, don't even say that. We got to get a pullback coming up here soon, right? I mean, at this point, we're just going to be taking the IB trade. It's not even going to be the previous day's 50. So gap fill, we never got even remotely close. Well, we did get close to that, never mind, but it's 50-50. So that wasn't very valid today. What we're leaning on is going to be this inside bar, 78% chance that we have a break of previous day's high or low. And with the way that price is trending right now, we need a push up to that high. What is your daily loss limit on the day? Tradeify doesn't have one set. Tradeify, sorry, not Tradeify. I stop after 2 losses though. Depending, 2 losses for the session. So if I'm finding myself slipping, I think anything over 2 losses, you're just going to end up blowing the account. And it may not seem like that loose of a restriction. But I think if you lose 2 trades, the 3rd trade, you're just trying to go break even, and that's never good. How long do you think the payout's going to take, and how do you plan on getting it for 30 accounts? We'll see. I may not copy trade all of them, but I'd plan on it once I get them passed. Like I already have the Lucid accounts funded, so these ones I'll probably trade a little more aggressive while I'm passing the other 25, the other 20. You can group the accounts. Yeah, I know you can group. I have all these accounts grouped, But if you click the exit, if you just click the equity where it says equity open P&L and click exit all positions and cancel all, that only does it for this one account. Trust me. I've been clicking that, and the one day that I had a little slip up, these accounts, this one account on Apex was the only one that closed the position. The rest of it had it open. Oh, I don't know, Matthew. I'll get it when I get it. I'm not in a rush. Excuse me. Not in a rush on it. I'm in a really good position at the moment. I need to make 250 on my Lucid and 800 roughly on my TBT account to get funded. This in the last day. There you go, 5 points. So we're looking at straight up IB if this pulls back any. Yeah. We have no pullbacks. 612.34 was the most that we've got. It should pull back today. I don't think we're going to go, I mean, say that now, and gold made that crazy move up last. I don't think we're going to go straight up without some correction. If we can pull back to previous days 50 with all the support that we have right there, previous days 50, we have the IB 50, we have London high, we have previous days high for London as well. There's a lot of support right there. We just need to get back to that level. New 1 hour and 4 hour candle open. Let's see if we can catch an entry in the 4 hour wick. To think I almost sent a contract in from the volatility I saw. It was bought one. It's a chud. What a strange comment. Man. Back-to-back days that the dog woke me up at 4. No matter what time frame we went on, by the way, I don't think that we would have caught an entry. That even the 1 minute just had a 70-cent candle push through previous days 50 and London high. And we just need this thing to pull back. Please. Please, please, please. Now that it's more so the IB trade, I might even go up to 30 on these. These ones are all still set from 40. These are all set from Apex still. That's weird. I didn't know that it carried over from different prop firms. It's odd. So I'll have to set all these numbers differently each time. That kind of stinks. All right, here's our pullback. It's coming. Full port. Full port. We just need a 60-point pullback. Is that too much to ask for? So our IB by rejection for a Wednesday. These are our stats we're looking at. IB low form first. First break is going to be the IB high, 78%, which is 3% over what the average is. So this one's in line with what we can take for today. Are you just on X or you stream on YouTube? I'm live on YouTube, X, Kit, Twitch, and within the Discord right now. 86 points from the high from our entry if we don't create a new high. Yeah, we just really needed to pull back. The IB stat for today, the IB itself, is about 110 points from 50. But we really need this thing to pull back down for us. I just don't want it to be crazy directional today. It's looking pretty good right now. This does look like an actual gnarly bull flag on the 5 minute. This thing's probably going to shoot up and make a new high. 15 minute looks like it should pivot back down a little bit more though. You can take it on both ES, MES, and SPY. MES is looking a little bit better for the pullback. All we need is previous day's 50. That's all we need to get down to. And then we're going to go long for previous day's high. Previous day's high is all the way up to, I think Q's has it. No, Q's has it at that wick high from yesterday. So target's going to be 25,430 when we enter this trade. 25,430. We have 2 points of confluence adding up. We have the IB high that should break, and then we also have that previous day's high. So 2 reasons to push up. 78% chance on the IB breaking the IB high, 78% chance on 615.03 getting hit. Same with SPY. SPY I might try a little bit earlier here. We'll see. And SPY's target is going to be, it's not really as high, is it? SPY's previous day's high is 685.89. And then regular trading hours is, every time I open these windows, I hate it. Previous day's high is 6,905, so a 23-point move on SPY. Whatever that correlates to for dollar-wise. What's YM's IB stat? Pretty much the same. Let me add it to the watch list here. Pretty much the same as everything else. 70%, 56% for a Wednesday. It's not that good, I guess, MYM. But any other day, it's about the same. And that might be our pullback. 5 minutes still looks really good for a bull flag break. Might be a little risky today, but I kind of want to take it on MES right now and target up to that high. And that could be a 1-to-1 as well. Yeah, sure, why not? Put a buy bid in, and we'll put that up to, we'll do sell 15 limit at that high. And then we'll put a, what does 23 points come out to? I gotta do the math on that. 23. That's not too bad. We'll put a 1-to-1 on this. 23 down is, there we go. So 15 stop. So it's 3 MES long, targeting up to previous day's high. And entry was 6877.5. So this is what the play is here. This one is for that inside bar stat. This isn't the IB trade. And we're looking at that for a risk reward. Damn, order fill sound. Thought I got ghost ordered. Surprisingly, that wasn't all that far off from the 20 accounts. The 20 accounts with the order filled, that one is a bombardment of order filled, order filled, order filled. So if we get a pullback to our 50, IB 50, then we'll get that trade on MNQ. I was just being a little impatient. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's with MES, so it's not too bad. Along 3 MES to previous day's high. And this stat we're playing isn't necessarily the IB trade. This one is in line with the inside bar stat. 78.08% chance that we take out previous day's high or low. We're up 60 right now. I will say, holy smokes, did I miss the trailing drawdown, the end of day trailing drawdown. Because that was not having the trailing drawdown be end of day. That was very stressful at times. But now it's not going to go and peak. Like I'm up 56 and then have it crash all the way down to being up or being down 20. And then my P&L would technically show that I'm down however much, whatever it might be. All right. Well, I will actually, it's a pretty quick win, but I'm going to take the 120 on that to start the day. Might be a little premature, but it's okay. It's still 120 bucks. I did not think it was going to hit that fast. What would the profit end up being total? Wow, I just missed quite a bit actually. Another 5 points. Oopsie. 127 profit on that. So even if you had one M&ES, if you guys were trading the 20 accounts, it's still a pretty good win. Not a bad win to start the day. Hopefully we get lucky enough to get a pullback. If you guys can see how, oh my gosh, look how many points of confluence we have right there. We have IB 50 stacked with London high, stacked with previous day's 50, all at the same point. Profit target for these Tradeify accounts is about 900 a day. That's to pass it in 3 days. Secured it because we still have 13 minutes for the IB. The IB trade is what I would like to trade. This is what we're going to do if the IB manages to come all the way back down for us. But starting the day off with a nice green trade. Gosh, I cannot tell you guys how much I miss seeing no trailing intraday drawdown. Wow, that feels good. The win obviously feels good, but the trailing drawdown, that feels really good. Pretty happy with that secure too. Even that we did miss another, what's 5 points times, oh boy, 75 bucks. So it would have been 200. I think I did my math wrong. That trade actually would have been a lot more than 370. Oh well. 25 times 5 times 3, right? I do. How bad? How far off was I? Entry was at, okay, that's 23 points. 28 points. 28 times 5 times 3. 420 is what the profit would have been. Oh, please put in a shooting star. Come back down to previous day's 50, IB 50, London high. And we're going to have a really good day if it does. Everyone managed to catch that little MES trade. It was down for a minute or two, so it didn't run immediately. It was down like $5-10 for a couple of minutes. and it ran. Awesome. Profit target on these accounts is 2,500, but it's over 3 days. It's 40% consistency to pass. So about 900 a day, 850 a day is what you should aim for if you want to pass it in 3 days. All I have to hit is 2,500, so I'm not too worried about how many days it takes. As long as I do it within the month, I don't want to drag this out for 2 months. Nice, Mike. There you go. Hopefully this is also answering some questions for trading evals versus trading funded accounts. Oh my gosh, guys, this is looking... If we can get a pullback to IB50 today, this might be one of the best trades we've had on it. Look at all the confluences we have lined up. If it fails, I'm flipping the desk, throwing my computer out the window. Go for it. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Are you doing it off the first 15-minute candle, or are you doing it off the whole first? That's why. So that one did form the high first and then the low, but we're doing the entire IB, which is the first hour, not the first 15. So you're looking at... Uh-huh. Yeah, because the IB is not meant to... You're looking more so at the orb, not the IB. Let me... Yeah, let me go to... There we go. That's... Yeah, it's the IB is a difference. The IB is a larger time frame. The opening range breakout is the one you can go all the way down to a 1 minute time frame if you wanted to. It's the orb. This one. Yep. Open. Yeah, it's orb opening range breakout. The opening range breakout is the first 15-minute candle, and you go down to the 5 if you wanted to. Yeah. Yeah, I think you might be looking at too many different things there. Just try to stick with the hour range on it. Sounds like you might have tried overcomplicating it a little bit, which is okay. It happens. But now you know. Yeah, because we broke the orbs, the 15-minute range. We broke over that, and then you go down to the 5-minute, and that high we broke over at 950. So that would be a long bias on that for right now. Yep. He's asking questions in the Discord stream, Moon, which is interactive. Or hourly hasn't closed. We have 6 minutes left on it. Yeah, you guys see how many different levels we have lined up there? It's making me foam at the mouth. We have our London high, we have previous day's 50, we have IB 50, and we have a whole bunch of support from yesterday. You can see how many times we bounced off that same previous day's 50. 1, 2, 3, fourth one broke it, and then we had that move down. But we need a pullback. SPY might take an entry here again. I think that would be rushing it a little bit. But it's still pretty 120 on the days. Pretty good start. Is that fib tool you're using to mark out the range? Yeah, it is. I use the one that's on Tradeify is the fib tool. That's what these three, and I just have it edited to only have the 50, the 1, and the 0 on. And then the one that I have on TradingView is the Gone box, which is also under Fibonacci. It's at the bottom. You can use the Gone box, or you can use just a rectangle. The Gone box, I have it set to this 0, 0.5, and 1. The reason I like the Gone box is the lines are a little thicker, and there's not the for the rectangle. I do know quite a few people that use a rectangle for it. Rectangle, you do the same thing. You just put the midpoint on. I don't like, come on, I'm hitting enter. Rectangle, I don't like that it has the bars on the side. It kind of prevents you from being able to see the wicks. So if I put it like that, you can't really see where the wick is on the candle. That's why I don't use the rectangle. Whereas the Gone box, you put that over, you can see the wick because it's a little more transparent. They both ultimately do the same thing though. Pretty good. Could try another entry. I think it's still a little early on MES. This one's looking a little weaker. IB range is down to that first candle. We'll draw in our IB 50 here. That's our opening range. We just need a little bit more downside on it if we can. The main level that I think we're going to hit on both Qs and SPY today is going to be up to previous day's high. So previous day's high is 6905 on SPY. I think I'm going to go down to 10 since we won that first trade. The risk was a little bit more than I thought because I did my math wrong. It's okay. 2 minutes left on Qs. I'm going to try that entry again on SPY. I'll just do 2 MES this time. And I'm going to put the sell limit at previous day's high. So it's going to be above the IB. And I'm going to put the, what's that? 18, 23 points on that. So our stop will also be 23 points, which would be 5.9 till 10 stop. It's a long 2 MES this time. Qs, I think, is probably going to break its IB right at 10.30 again. So long 2 MES 1-to-1. That's on the Tradeify accounts. The risk reward on this should be $240, 240, 240. 23 times 2 times 5. Yeah, $230. It's our risk reward. And we are targeting up to previous day's high on both. Already up 50 right now. I think if this hits up 200, I'll probably take it there, even though it's early. IB stat for SPY. IB by rejection. We are looking at, let's see. Yeah, Qs is probably going to, it's got 18 seconds left, and it's probably going to take it almost immediately. You can remove the border of the rectangle so you don't have a problem seeing that wick. Just set opacity for border 0. Yeah, but then it's just the same gone box. It's fine. It's fine. So you have a 2 out of 3 chance that SPY goes and breaks the IB high today. Q's already took it right there. IB's already done on Q's. So again, if this hits 200 profit total, I'll probably take it there. And actually move the stop to break even now. Stop loss at break even, no risk on that trade. If the IB can break, then I'll get out a little early. You know what? I won't be too stingy about it. So secured the 65 on that. IB hasn't been taken quite yet. That Q's already broke, so it's not as valid. So out for 67 on that second one. I guess I should have done 3 MES for that. Not too shabby. Price targets for a continuation. There's the IB high taking on SPY, by the way. There we go. SPY just took it. Could have held on a little bit longer. Missed another 2 points. It's not that big of a deal. IB high is taken. We should pretty easily go up to 685.87. So this was a not perfect representation of the IB. We didn't get the entire move down, but still a very good playthrough for the IB today. Front ran. Not fully closed out yet. There you go. Oh, funded Tradeify. Very nice. All right, guys, that will 2 for 2 on the day. IB's already done. We could get a slight continuation. We could take another set of trades, but after we get to previous day's high, we don't really have much of a draw after that. Definitely could have held SPY a little bit longer there, but very good start to the Tradeify accounts. 183. Not massive, but I don't think anyone can complain with that. Basically a 1K start to those. Got a massive 850 times 5 on Lucid, so wherever that comes out to. Almost 5,000 on those. Did you catch that IB, Steve, or were you waiting for the retracement? Closed out fully at 25.4. There you go. Did we get 25.4 in MNQ? We did. Cyclo was going to have a little resistance at it, not too much. MES probably could have gone in with 3M and MES on that. That was a very valid long with 278% stats pointing to the upside. So Q's is just about at previous day's high. Man, we read this really well today. A little pat on the back. 10:33, and we are done early. This is probably the hardest part, and it's going to continue to be the hardest part for me trading. I wouldn't say that I'm not at all upset about exiting early. Could have capitalized on, I mean, our first entry was really good. We could have capitalized on another maybe $75, I think. So we'd be up 193 instead of 183 right now. It's not that big of a difference. We got 65 in the second trade as opposed to 75 for that first trade. Definitely could have held it all the way up to 420. Frenchie just got full TP on his trade. I think we just hit previous day's high. Almost. Very, very close. 615.02. We're off by 2 cents. SPY still has a long ways to go to previous day's high. It doesn't seem... Oh, previous day high on that doesn't seem accurate. That's more in line. So like another $1 on SPY. And how much is $1? I think it's 10 points, maybe? Something like that. Anyway, pretty happy with the execution today. We didn't get the retracement, but we still managed to play a beautiful IB break today. Played it on SPY because it was a little better of a pullback. Why did you take the order earlier before IB completion? Because we had this beautiful inside bar stat. Once it loads, this is another 82% now on SPY because it already Q, sorry, 78%. Q's is just about to take it. So we had two 78% stats pointing to upside. That's why I jumped in early. There's previous day's high taken on Q's. Man, if we had just gotten a little bit more of a pullback, that would have been a massive play. SPY is about to go take previous day's high as well. Has another 5 points to go. So we did end up missing quite a bit. I could have held that a little bit longer. It's another 10 points, $100. Go ahead and get rid of that. I think that was a pretty good follow-up of the plays for today. Qs I'm a little disappointed on. We definitely could have capitalized on that with that wick down. This is a 150 point move. So that's $300 per one MNQ with a bullish IB. Beautiful read today, everyone. Okay, we have another 30 cents. These ones aren't as clean. The Apex ones at least came in a square. Maybe if I put it all the way to there. It's kind of a square. I could just move this over. There we go. That's probably about as close to a square as we can get. That's not going to work, is it? Guess I'll just have to do this. Let's see how that works. Looks a little bit better. Close that. Oh, that didn't come out very good. I'm trying to get a nice screenshot for these. All right, we're all done for the day, by the way, everyone. No, the stream, we still have another 20 minutes on it, but beautiful read. Still have a little bit more upside potential on. What would I do? Copy that twice? Oh, Phoebe. It was a beautiful read. Very happy with how we executed today. Very nice no buy zone. The chart you were looking at are doing beautiful inside bar before it broke 0.5 for real. Thank you. Okay. Another 14 cents to go about. It's going all the way. The inside bar stat is referring to how many, or our chance of breaking previous day's high or previous day's low when we open within that previous day's range. I definitely missed a little bit today, I'd say. We missed, it's on the wrong account, MES. Oof. Another 14 points so far. That yellow line is previous day's high. Once we take that, that's fulfilled that stat as well. Just working on getting some post out. Let's see if Lucid accepted my code change yet. I can go to my dashboard. Coupons. If anyone got that joke. Bedtime for you in Australia? Let me finish this real quick. I'll answer all those questions I see stacking up. All right. Okay, so first question, what nearly midnight night Rolo? Need 150 to pass. There you go. Very nice. That's probably one more good day tomorrow. There's our previous day's high taken. Definitely could have held those trades a little bit longer. In hindsight, should have, but it's okay. Thesis was there, and we managed to get a very nice follow through for it. What forms do prop firms send you for filing taxes? I'm interested. Is this my first time of the year for you? They send you a 1099. What is it? Might be a 1099B. I know it's a 1099 form. I don't remember what 1099 it is, but it's the prop firm profits, the payouts that they give you are taxed at, I believe, 21%, 21 to 22%. And then any additional profits, those are taxed at what your payout bracket is. So if you're in the top tax bracket, you'll have most of your prop firm payouts taxed at probably 30%. But for the most part, I think universally most of them are taxed at 22. Thank you, FX. 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation. Trade a little. Hindsight's a bitch, but could have traded a little bit better today. Held the trades a little bit longer. Very happy with the overall outcome, though. Okay, time to catch up on some questions here. When you get a chance, can you go over the trade that you did? Yeah, absolutely. So the trade that we just took, the reason that I took it on SPY as opposed to MNQ, this one was a lot stronger. We could have taken it on that pullback. Again, hindsight 2020. Gold also broke its IB. Not quite yet. Gold's still within its IB. It's at 50% right now. This did move very similar to gold last night. So I took it on SPY. And if you guys watched my video yesterday, you'll know why. Where is the trend pointing? And this is an honest question. Where is the trend pointing for us today? I want everyone to answer in chat. Should be pretty easy to see. I'll give it another 10 seconds. No one's answering. Trend is very clearly pointing to the upside. So we want to, especially because we had the 78% stat on the inside bar and the 78% stat on the IB high breaking first. Trend is up, so we're looking for a red candle to join in on that trend. Even though we didn't get the 50%, what we do know is that this IB should have a very high chance of breaking the high. So we entered at about 682 on SPY on that first attempt. Stop loss was at the IB low. Take profit was at the previous day's high, which we just hit. So this trade should have been 420 if I held the whole thing. Obviously, I did not. And then the second entry, same exact concept, only with 2 MES this time instead of the 2 MES instead of the 3. And then we secured it just before the IB high. The reason I took it there was because Q's already broke its IB high. And the main reason behind that, if you guys recall from last week, QQQ did the same thing right here. The IB high break, or the IB low break on Tuesday, January 13th. It broke by a couple of cents and then immediately reversed and went all the way to IB 50, and then actually almost went to the IB high. So it's not anything that is on the data. This is just from past experience. No need to be super stingy about another $10, $15. This could have reversed down quite a bit. Obviously it didn't. And again, this is all in hindsight where everyone is a market genius. So we could have wrote it up a little bit more. Wish I did. That could have been a $400 day instead of 183, but still very pleased with the 183. Hindsight genius. Everyone's a hindsight genius for the market. Yeah, could have made another 500. Yeah, I could have made 50,000 a day if I went long down here. Nope. No, it does not. I've been using the London 50 in previous days range. Has been a real nice tool to filter my trades. Thank you for the videos about it. Yeah, don't even have a video for it. This, you want to cover it right now? So I have it on IB by rejection, and I go to custom, and I go cycle through. There, I don't have anything else change. This is all standard. Only thing that I change is when we're looking at what weekday we're looking at. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yep. And then once you get that, this is what pops up for you. That's all I look at for the IB. So I used to look at the IB by rejection. This one, or IB by breakout. This just gives you the stat of the IB breaking, which is 96% that we get the high or low break for that day. IB by just the IB by rejection. You don't need the IB breakout. So I have IB by rejection. I go and cycle it through each weekday when we trade that weekday. I use gap fill by size. And this one is gap fill and then sub report by size. And then for customizing this one, you don't really need to. I always leave it on 100%. And then it automatically has the tabs that you can switch through here. And that gives me, yep. And then for today's example, we had a 0.28% gap. So we're in that second bracket. We only had a 50-50 chance. So it's not overwhelmingly bearish or bullish. That's why we needed more confluence for going up or down. That's why I waited for price to get over previous day's 50, and then we had a long bias going forward. Yep. Yep. And then the final one, inside bar. This one's a pretty regular measure. It doesn't change very much. Yep. And then it should just show you, there's no customization to this. It's just the ticker and the data range. Yep, that means that's our chance of going to previous day's high or previous day's low when we open within previous day's range. So I look at that, and then I just, are we within previous day's range? If so, then wait for a bias to form, like what we did with a close over previous day's 50, and then you're looking for previous day's high or previous day's low. Nope, just cycle between those three. That's it. So that's the explanation that I give to everyone that wants to use Edgeful, because there's 48 different reports on here. There's no reason for you to go and cycle through all these, because then, kind of like what you were doing this morning, Freedom, you get a little confused with what the bias should be, and you get a little bogged down with too much information. So find which ones work best for you. For me, it's the gap fill, inside bar by or initial bounds by rejection, and inside bars. Those are what work best for me. What other concepts have you studied before finding Edgeful? I just use the London 50 and previous days 50. That's about it. I've been using these since March of last year. And that's pretty much it. Trends, again, go and watch that video I just posted last night. I'll go and pull that up on YouTube right now. So it is correct. So this video from last night, if you guys haven't watched it yet, be sure to go and watch this. This covers how I trade trends during Asia session, or just trends in general. So that was the move that we had to the upside. Right now, you're not looking to short this move, not looking to counter this move. You're looking to continue, because 8 out of 10 times this is going to continue moving to the upside. So that means every time that we have a little retest, we had one 9:30 this morning, we had one right here. Each one of those retests, 8 out of 10 times, that is going to cause price to go higher, which is what we're doing exactly so far today. Yeah, it wasn't too big. It was only 0.2%. Still a healthy size gap, but yeah, I get what you're saying. What IB did you trade today? Because I thought you waited until 9:30. I front ran it today because of that inside bar stat, and it looked very, very strong on M&Q. I didn't think we were going to get a pullback, which we obviously didn't. So I opted to get it. This was if we were just trading the IB on SPY with where our entry was, this was a 1 to 4 risk reward, which isn't terrible. It's still going to be a win. 1 to 3 actually. So definitely a negative risk reward, but we also had added confluence to go a little bit higher. So it increased the risk reward to 0.7. Still negative, but so the next pullback should be a good place to re-enter. Yes. It may not be as likely. I think we're probably going to pitter out for a little while here, because we've made a very strong move, very large move to the upside. And we've already hit our draw on the day, which was previous day's high. Now, what we can do is we can go to IB by levels. And once this loads for what's our IB's range today? Drag that in. IB is 1.03%. It's over that, and we're looking at a Wednesday for a breakout day. Just a second here. So it should tell us the chances that we go and have a continuation to that 0.5 standard deviation. And we have had no data points over the past 6 months. So price is probably, if it does continue moving, this is the first time it's done something like this for the past 6 months. If it just pitters out, then it's all done for the day. bottom right. You're just looking. Yep. So if we go to open, I don't think it alters it, but this shows you once we open. Let me go back one bar actually. So where we are right here, that was gapped up point. You can see it on the side, 0.31. See right here where my mouse. Well, in the morning I look right here because that tells us what our gap is. But you can't see it now because we're halfway through the day. But we were gapped up 0.31 with that candle, and then the next candle pushed down ever so slightly. We were gapped up 0.28. And that's where we ended up opening the day. So that is still within the 0.2 to 0.39. Yeah, that's not the gap. That's the move that we've had today. Yep. No problem. Good info, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if it's a gap down, you're just looking at the other side of it. Tells you on both sides here, gap up, gap down. So if it was a gap down of 0.28%, we had a 78% chance that it got filled. Oh, that's because of that's on here too. It's not, it removed it now, but that was because it was showing it based off of this wick that we had to open, which almost filled it. So all the stuff you're looking at is a little tricky because you're looking at it hindsight. All right, guys, that will do it for today. That's it for the stream. Thank you guys was the gap not filled today? I don't think it was. We closed right there. Yeah, it was actually. We did fill the gap. Just barely with that wick. So it was filled. All right, that will do it for the stream today. Nothing else from me. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always. Did you manage to get the other trades though, Bob? The 2 other trades or no? Sure did. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys, that will do it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow, same time.